Welcome to Chalk Talk with Chuck with a Week 8 preview. It is October 21st, 9:05 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm joined as always by Jalen. Jalen, how are you doing?
Um, the undefeated season is over, but I'm all right.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaking loss, but I think there's a lot of positive to take away from it, in my opinion. But I don't know,
Hell of a game.
hell of a game. And, for losing a game like that, I feel like you guys showed that you could play with what I think is probably the most well put together team in the NFC right now.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm way more like the Vikings lost, but I'm so happy that the Steelers won with Russell Wilson. So,
I know. Even when I win, I lose, dude. Even when I win, I lose. Um, we'll get to that. I assure you. I have some funny comments about that actually. It was a good week. I thought it was a fun week of football. There was some disappointing games. There was some disappointing. I don't know if I even want to say injuries yet because well, there were some awful injuries, but the Jaden Daniels thing, I don't know if they were just resting him. But we'll get to all of it. We'll start like we start every week. We've got the hate list. I have one addition. I'll be taking the Cowboys off of mine. I'm going to leave the Browns front office, Trevor Lawrence, the Ringers quarterback power rankings. That they become a permanent enshrinement. And I'm adding the Utes this week as my one addition. I have coaches that go for it. That still is. We're going to talk about. I'm amending coaches that go for it to just bad coaching in situations because I don't like the Raiders thing was so weird. But I'm adding the Utes to my hate list. I'm a Utah fan. That was the worst offensive game I've ever seen in my entire life. I know it's not an NFL thing, but it's there. It was terrible. It was awful. I was at the game. I'm at every game. This doesn't mean I won't go to the games, but man, that sucked. So,
Yeah, that was really hard to watch.
oh, yeah, their offensive coordinator stepped down. So, yay.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
what's up with Makai Bernard too?
I just the way that when I was watching the game, I kept thinking, this can't be that difficult to coach against. The Utes are just going to run the ball up the middle, and then when they're not going to run the ball up the middle, they're just not going to hit receivers or have anything downfield. I don't know. I mean, it could be fatigue. The O line didn't look very good, but they just also looked uninspired. That team looked like they quit. That was what that looked like. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's my addition, and hopefully things turn around. We literally are just here now to spoil BYU's season.
Yeah, hopefully you can do it. That'd be awesome if they were like top 10 and then,
It'd
lost
be
to
sick.
Utah. I think it'd
It'd
be
be
really
sick.
funny.
It'd be super funny. I mean, we play BYU and Iowa State, so at this point, just try to spoil seasons. Just play upset.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the worst
And
spot to be in.
no, I mean nothing. You're not playing for anything anymore. If you're the Utes, you're all the pressure's off. All the pressure's off. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to expect going into next year. I hope that this kid ends up panning out, but it's not looking great.
He might. I mean, it's hard to say. He kind of got thrown in a tough spot. He probably didn't think he was going to play much this year. And then,
No, and I mean he's 18.
Cam Rising and yeah, exactly.
And vibes are just so bad when that kind of thing happens. But I also was, like the pocket awareness is so bad on him. Just collapses so fast.
Dude, you know what? He kind of reminds me of his brother.
Oh, totally.
Like the way he's like would just won't stay in the pocket. Like I know the outline's not great, but he just like it seems like he's trying to get out like as soon as they snap the ball almost.
Yeah, and it looks like he's like he looks so unbothered by mistakes. It reminds me of his brother. It's like, dude, that was so bad, and you just seem to be okay with the fact that it was so bad, and you walk off the field, and you're like, ooh, I don't know. I was so fucking so pissed, but you know, What can you do? What can you do? I can't be too negative. The Steelers looked really good, so we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah.
they're just kids, man.
They're just kids. They're just kids, and I'm used to the Utes being good, and they're not, and that's all right. Got to learn to bounce around that. What's
Yeah.
what's your addition? Are you taking anything out? What are you adding this week?
Um, I can't. I don't think I had anything for like the last 2 weeks. I've been pretty
You've been
happy
pretty
watching
consistent.
football.
Yeah.
Um, I do have one this week, and it was during the Chiefs and 49ers game, and it pissed me off so bad. It's fake running out of bounds by the quarterbacks and them abusing their running privileges near the sideline.
Yeah.
Mahomes had this play where he like faked like you shouldn't be able to use like I'm gonna fake going out of bounds and stay in and then get like what did he have like a 50-yard run? It was like the longest of his career. And the Niners players are just sitting there like, dude, all three of us could have just smoked you right now, but we can't or we're gonna get flagged. But then it's like this whole I don't know, man. It needs some tweaking because another player that does it a lot is Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm
you're
gonna
preaching
start
a
paying
bit
attention more to it.
you're preaching a bit to the choir here because it happened to the Steelers in the playoff game last year. Josh Allen like fake slid in the middle of the field and our DBs let up and then he just kept going. And
Yeah.
I was really upset at I wanted to be upset, but this Kenny Pickett did it, and the Steelers fans played it on Twitter like every week for the past 2 years before this game. And so I said, I'm not going to be hypocritical and complain about this. And I actually got in a discussion with my friend about it today because he's a Niners fan. And he hit me up about the same thing. And he said, it's BS that the rules protect the quarterbacks, but then, these guys take advantage of it. And I said, you're 100% right. This sucks and it's frustrating. But I mean, I don't know, I don't know what the remedy is. You know,
No, I
I
don't
don't.
either. It kind of reminds me of like players in the NBA. Like, do you remember when the free throw thing got like super crazy and is
Yes,
one of my favorite players of all time just abused the hell out of it. But it kind of reminds it's not as bad as that or as you're not able to manipulate the game as much with it, but still
right.
it kind of feels like that because it's like, well, what am I supposed to do as a defender if I already can't touch the guy and then I like reach for the ball and it's just like the whole swipe thing and then everybody started doing it. It was James Harden, it was Chris Paul, it was Kevin Durant.
Right.
It's I mean, they all do it and it seems like a lot of the quarterbacks do that too.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to get noticed more, and I think that there's going to be somebody out there who has some idea for a remedy for this. I don't think that it happens often enough to be a problem, but Mahomes is one of the only guys who's smart enough and also has enough privilege to abuse it to that extent. Like everybody when you go to play the Chiefs, the defensive coach is telling you, if Patrick Mahomes is near the sideline, do not touch him. If Patrick Mahomes is near the sideline, stand in front of him and make sure he goes out of bounds. Maybe give him a gentle push. But if you do anything to that guy near the boundary, you're going to get a flag. And Mahomes is so good and so aware of every situation he's in. I think the game comes to him at a different pace than everybody else. And while these guys, again, it's that Mahomes effect. They're freaking out. He's not freaking out. He gets to the sideline. He knows these guys aren't going to hit him. He kind of just tucks himself up and waits to see if they do something. It's not, I don't know what the remedy is. I don't know if, like, yeah, you can't make it touch football. And I don't know if somebody just needs to ring his bell once and take one for the team.
Oh, I think if he tries to do it this week against the Raiders, something's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, I mean that's what needs to happen is like one of these guys on one of these teams where it doesn't matter anymore, who's willing to get suspended for a game or two, when Mahomes is near the sideline needs to just light him up. And I'm not an advocate for injuring a guy, but Tom Brady took a hit. Like there's a very famous clip of Tom Brady getting his bell rung on the sideline. His helmet goes flying off, you know.
Hmm.
Mahomes is a tough guy. He's a big dude. He can handle a hit. And I
Oh
guarantee you
wow.
if you hit him that hard, he's going to get out of bounds faster.
Yeah, there's another clip that's like I've seen on my Instagram probably 5 times this year, and it's Richard Sherman talking about he's on Amon Ross podcast, and he's talking about when he hit Jared Goff back when he was on the Seahawks, and he was like, I kept looking at Jared like, are you gonna go out? Are you gonna go out? And then he didn't, and he got lit up. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I
Maybe they
mean,
need to like I don't know how you change the rule, but it really sucks because I already know it's gonna happen in the playoffs, Charlie. And I'm
Jalen,
gonna
it
be
already has
a
happened in the
hundred
playoffs. It
times more
happened in that
mad.
Titans game. You remember that?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh yeah, dude. Go back and look up the Patrick Mahomes run against the Tennessee Titans in the AFC playoffs. It's the exact same scenario on the sideline. They let up, he does a little spin move, he goes all the way down the sideline, puts him in field. It's a close game. The Titans are playing him tough, and that changed the game. He scored a touchdown, game changed, boom. And dude, the worst part about it is he does stuff like that, and then it's like Chris Collins. This guy's just when you think he's down, he's not out.
I wonder if they could change it to like the way that your feet are placed. Like if your feet are not parallel, it'd have to be like 45 degrees where you're running at an angle and it looked like you're headed towards out of bounds. But like he does the thing
Right.
where he like acts like he's doing it and then he'll get like an extra yard or two and like stick the ball out. And I don't know if like
Yeah,
if your feet
he
are
like
turned a certain way, if you're just they're just like, no, it's free game now.
I mean, there are judgment calls exist in sports, and there could be a judgment call to say like the quarterback gave himself up when
Yeah.
he, like he, and you could everybody knows what's happening. I mean, sometimes the obvious answer is just, yeah, the guy chopped his feet and went from running 15 miles an hour to 3. He's stopping. You know, that's not a
Yeah.
slow down to start back up action. This is a quarterback. He's running towards the sideline. And maybe you're right. Maybe you do like a shoulder thing where it's like, well, his shoulders were faced almost all the way at it. But then you're going to call people out of bounds before they're I don't know how you, I just don't, I don't know what the solution is. And, and the solution might just be tackle him, you know,
Yeah.
hit him just a few times. Hit any of these guys just a few times. Show people that you're willing to hit them, and they're probably going to get out of bounds. It also just doesn't happen. But you're right. It's going to happen in the playoffs. Doesn't happen a lot, but it'll happen in the playoffs. So,
The
yeah.
Chiefs.
I'd like to elaborate on one of the points on my hate list, if I could.
Sure.
Um, the Browns front office stays at 1-1 only because DTR was somehow above Jameis Winston on the depth chart.
That was so crazy.
Nobody but like diehard Browns fans knew that he was. But in addition to that, every single time that I watched the Browns this year, anytime Jameis Winston or anytime Deshaun did something bad, they panned to Jameis Winston on the sideline. And so I'm waiting for Jameis to come in, and then out comes DTR, and I was like, oh, nobody's going to be happy about this. The Browns stay not only pissing everyone off for the contract, now they're just going to deprive us of Jameis Winston. And DTR gets hurt almost immediately, so Jameis gets in. But then I see an injury report today that's like DTR should be back next week. I, who's who's tuning in for that?
Yeah, I don't know. You got me there. I'm definitely not. If Jameis is on, I might have to full screen it for a little bit, to be honest.
Oh, it's so electric. It's so much fun with Jameis out there.
The thing is like he comes in and he throws touchdowns.
Dude, the touchdown he threw was so Jameis too. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Off his back foot, like a floater into the back of the end zone. Could have been a pick. It was
Uh,
awesome. And Trevor Lawrence winning, by the way, the like smiles on the guy's face for Jacksonville as they went on to beat the Patriots was so embarrassing to me.
yeah, Doug gets to keep his job for I don't know what a few more weeks. They have a crazy schedule coming up.
Oh, Coach
They
Middleseat is going to
play
be gone, dude.
they play let's see, they play the Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions, Texans in the next 5 games.
Jesus, Jesus
That's
Christ.
so brutal, dude. You got to play 3 teams from the NFC North.
Yeah, well, that sucks. They're gonna get their teeth kicked in. That team's so bad. Did you see? Can you believe that the Bucks have made this a 31-41 game?
They
72
really?
points. Yeah.
No way.
Bucky Irving scored a touchdown. Rashad White scored a touchdown.
This is insane because I picked the Bucks to cover 10.5 in one of my parlays tonight,
So I think
and
you're
they
about to
brought
get
it
it
back,
because
dude.
they
Yeah.
brought it back. Yeah,
I was
18
looking
seconds
at it
left.
like, is 10.5 enough? Like, surely they can lose by 10, and then if it was what 34-10 earlier.
That's a cheeky backdoor cover by the Bucks right there. Wow. Good for them, honestly.
Yeah,
Because that Chargers game sucks. 12-14. Real thriller. Um,
it's what you'd expect.
yeah, it is about what you'd expect. I've got a little segment we've been working on. The basement tapes is what I decided to call it because I love Bob Dylan. He had an album named that, and I live in my parents' basement. I've come to realize that my unhealthy relationship with football is just purely based on my father's unhealthy relationship with football. But my dad has reached a new level of delirium that, or intensity and hatred for anything that is negative for his team, that it has scared me into being more normal of a fan. We were watching the Ute game on Saturday, and the Utes gave up 13 points the entire game, even though their offense had 85 yards through 3 quarters. And my dad's takeaway from the game was, why can't the defense stop anybody? And I thought it was weird, but I moved on from it. And then we watched the Steeler game, and the Steelers gave up 2 consecutive first downs. And he said, well, our defense sucks and we can't stop anybody. And I realized that and I realized that my dad is so used to watching football from the 70s that any point scored means our defense sucks. And we gave up
Yeah,
15 points, and he's like, oh, that fucking defense is Swiss cheese.
it's like this first or second defense in the NFL.
Yeah, dude, we had like one of the best defenses in the NFL. We had 2 turnovers. They had like 4 sacks. You know, they bottled up the Jets for all
They
intents
blocked
and
a field
purposes.
goal.
They blocked a field goal and an extra point that got called back. I mean, they played like really good football. And my dad was like, this defense, man, they can't stop anybody. And he gets so stressed
Yeah.
out. And again, his back is hurt. He's all stressed out. It's 8:30 at night. We're watching the game. And I catch him going outside and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I got to bring some of these flowers in." But he can't carry them because his back is hurt because they're in these pots. So then I find myself in the middle of the Steeler game carrying flower pots in from outside because my dad's so stressed. There's nothing that
Stressed
couldn't wait
out.
till the next day, you know. And I used to just let him go out into the yard and do whatever he did, but now I can't because he's hurt. It's really bad. I mean, he's that level of fandom where it's like I can't even watch the second a negative thing happens. The Steelers were up 3 touchdowns, and he was like, "They can't fucking stop them. They're gonna let him back in this fucking game. You watch." It's
How
not.
is he feeling? So I know how you were feeling first half with this with Russie. How was your dad feeling?
Oh, he my dad said after Jalen, the second possession, well, it's not our year, but I guess we knew that, didn't we? Dude, it was midway through the first quarter.
Two drives in.
Cause so after the first two drives, I won't lie, or the first three drives, vibes were really bad. Russ looked really bad. It was it was sketchy, and the fans were booing, and I thought, oh God, are we really gonna make a quarterback change at halftime? Like it was not good. And my dad is circling around in the kitchen going, because we ordered pizza because my mom was out of town, so we ordered pizza in, and I was going to pick it up, and he's like, Charlie, just call it and go and pick it up. Nothing's gonna fucking change in this game. It doesn't matter if you go now or at halftime. The season's over.
It's over, man.
Dude, the game is over. The game is over the second the other team does anything positive in my dad's eyes. They gain a first down. Our defense sucks. We're gonna give up 150 points, dude.
Yeah, so I think I should share that you weren't far off last night
No, dude,
because
I'm not.
because I
And it's
wasn't watching the
bad.
game, and sure enough, I get a text from Charlie. Oh, look, dude, a shit pitch play and Wilson sucks. And I said, "Oh, I'm out seeing some family. I don't have the game on." And you say, "Lucky." I say, "Oh, really? Switch to Fields at halftime, maybe?" They are booing hard, and then I check the score, and I'm like, "Booing hard for what? It's 7-6. This is Steelers football, man." And then you go, "Oh, you should have seen the two drives before the last one." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm sure if Fields was in, it would have been two touchdowns." And then you end it by saying, "Bad football weekend for me." And then I don't text you for like probably, I don't know, another hour. And I go, "Wait, George Pickens has a touchdown?" And you go, "Dude, I won't lie, Russ isn't awful." within this is all within like an hour. You're like, "You're out." You're like, I'm done. I don't want to see anymore." And then you're like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." And then you guys rip off 37 points somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I went through a metamorphosis during this game. The thing is the Steelers were losing at halftime, and vibes were not good. And then we came out, and Russ just started throwing the ball down the field, which I couldn't believe. Um, I haven't seen, you know, I've been irresponsible, okay? As a fan, I'm an irresponsible fan. I haven't seen offense like that, and I've gone around today telling just about everyone I can see, let Russ cook. And I was gonna get to this later, but I guess I'll talk about it now. I got cold called in class today, and for those of you who don't know what a cold call is in law school, they just call on you. Mr. Moffat, what do you think of this? Blah, 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 blah. And this is the middle of class. I answer a question to the professor that's like about that. And then he says, I just got to ask. And I was like, oh God. Like he's going to follow up with something obscure that I'm not prepared to answer. He's like, what do you think of the Steelers quarterback situation? Because I got my Steelers sweatshirt on, dude. We're like 35 minutes into class. And I have to make an on the fly decision whether I'm going to give the class my 30-page, dissertation on what I think about what's going on with the Steelers, or I can just answer it very simply. And I said, let Russ cook with a question mark sort of lingering in the air. And he looked at me like I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, sir, because he was like, well, you got the Steelers shirt on. I just thought you'd have a passionate answer. And I said, I'm a big fan of the Steelers. I don't know if I want to get into this right now. And he was like, that's fair. And I was like, I watched, and then I said in front of everybody, I watched Kenny Pickett for 2.5 years. I'm just happy right now. And there's a
Oh
girl who
man.
sits in front of me, and she just started nodding her head, and she went, "Yeah, it's true."
Yeah, because you have that. Don't you have someone like one girl in there that's from Pittsburgh or something?
Yeah, there's a girl that sits right in front of me that's from Pittsburgh who loves the Steelers, and she just
Yeah,
started nodding her head when I was talking about Kenny Pickett, and I was like, "Yeah." But it was an embarrassing moment. I don't think I came off as like a huge Steeler fan in that moment, but I just didn't want. I had a choice. I could either just ruin the rest of the class for everybody because I could feel everybody being like, "We don't give a fuck about this. Let's just get through class."
sure. Yeah.
Um, and but I just wanted to go off and on just a tangent about quarterback play in Pittsburgh, but I held in strong and didn't. Um,
I think that was a great answer.
yeah, let Russ cook. I don't know. Let Russ cook.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. And we talked about it a lot today. The offense for the first time in my life looked not the first time in my life. The offense for the first time in a long time looked free, which is a hard thing to explain and a hard thing to quantify. But they just look like the Steelers look like they were playing real football offensively. And Najee looked happy, and Pickens looked happy, and Fryermuth had a big game. It was just fun, you know. And when we get to the Giants game, which is the closing game for the week, I'll explain a bit of my theory as to what I think the Steelers are going to be, what that game means to me moving forward.
Yeah, I think it. I think Russ did good. I mean, it was just nice to see the ball get thrown downfield.
Right. It was super
And
nice to see. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when you have a quarterback that can't pass, it kind of reminds me of when you have a point guard that can't shoot. Like your entire offense just changes in the way that teams play you. And like everything
Yes.
changes. But if you put a guy out there that can hit a shot, it's like it just frees everything up. And it's kind of the same thing with Russ. It's like, oh, we get a couple passes downfield. Well, now Najee doesn't have to run through 10 people. He had a great game.
Yeah. And yeah, yeah, we were talking about like the team just looked so much more natural, and I still don't know. Russ, he gives me. You pointed it out earlier today to me, but he does give me a bit of like a Joe Flacco vibe, you know, where yeah, it's not great, and he might make mistakes, but he can air the ball out downfield, and he gives your team enough confidence in him that he'll be able to perform that you know that your team's gonna be able to move the ball throughout the game, and we moved the ball really well. That was really exciting. I
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I really every minute of the second half was joy, which was great.
Yeah, I was happy watching it because I was happy for you to just see the ball move like that and to score 37 points. Dude, you scored more than my team this week.
Yeah, I think other than the Ravens, we scored the second most points in the NFL this week.
Yeah, which is wild because you didn't have any defensive touchdowns either.
No, no, I mean we came. I mean really close. I think Beanie Bishop put the ball on the 3-yard line on his
Ah,
second
come on.
interception.
We don't need to talk about that. We'll just focus on the offense this week.
No, but what was even great about it was is usually that's like 3 runs for the Steelers. No, Russ hit
And a
somebody for a
field goal.
passing touchdown. 3 runs and a field goal. But no, like Russ threw a ball to a guy running across the end zone who was open, who he connected with. It was very foreign to me, but it was awesome. Um, and I know that I'm such a spoiled fan because I just watched Big Ben for like 20 years. But at least I'm not a Packers fan. Um,
True.
yeah, yeah, and I guess I'll just say instead of waiting till the Giants game, but the Giants game to me resembles consistency. If the Steelers take care of the Giants like they should, if they cover the spread and they win the game and they score points and they beat the Giants, who had a really bad week against the Eagles, but I don't think it was all their fault. I'm gonna have a really different tune of confidence about this team in this game and how we move forward. Because if we can handle teams like the Giants on national television in a spot where we usually are so bad, this is a classic Steelers come out super flat and the Giants hang in and we win by 3 and it's super ugly and I'm pissed off. If we come out and play like we played against the Jets in this game, I'm gonna be really thinking maybe not. I'll be thinking deep offs
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's gonna be a weird game because
for sure.
The Giants are not good, but they're gonna beat a few more teams this year, and it's
I think
gonna be
so
kind of
too.
weird the way they do it. Like even looking back on the Seahawks, like they probably shouldn't have beat the Seahawks, and then the Bengals won by like the Bengals barely won that game too. So I don't know. I guess it depends how it looks, but
Yeah,
oh, you're
yeah, we'll
five and a
see.
half point favorites. That's a terrible spot for Mike Tomlin, but
Oh, I don't even. Why are we favorites? Why are we favorites?
5.5.
All
I
right.
don't
Well,
know. Is Daniel Jones not playing, or I guess we'll talk about it later. But
yeah. Are you ready to get to week 8 slate?
yeah, let's do it.
Dude, I think that there are 0 bye weeks this week, which is super weird. Yeah, no bye weeks. What the hell? The NFL schedule is so weird. Well, I guess we can open up. You want to open us up? You want to give us a little preview of what we got going on Thursday night?
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed, but we got Vikings Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings at Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is a 3 point favorite. Over under set at 48 and a half. I really don't like playing Thursday games, especially after playing the Lions.
Yeah,
But let we should probably talk about this game a little bit too, because this was one of the better games this week, I'd say.
for sure.
Um,
For sure.
I think the defense was pretty bad in the first half from the Vikings.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
We Stephon Gilmore tripped on a route
Mm-hmm.
and gave up a touchdown. We had another play where Jared Goff audibled and a guy just didn't pick up Amon Ra. I'm not sure who it was, and he was wide open for like another 45-yard touchdown. It seemed like Jared Goff was just picking the blitz apart, and Jameer Gibbs
Yeah,
did whatever he wanted.
it was a weird,
But
dude. I don't know. It was a weird half.
it was, and I wonder if it's because they came off of a bye.
Yeah,
Because I
it
don't
it
know
was
how
weird.
much, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, it was just weird in that you're up 10-0, then you're down 21-10, and then it felt weird to me that you guys had it and then it got so quiet and then you guys came, you kind of come out of the second half and you play so much better. And if you just can take away one of those weird mistakes in the second quarter, whether it's the Darnold pick, I don't know.
Yeah, that was also really bad. Like, I don't know. He's usually good for one a game. I'm not too critical of Sam Darnold because he's been every like so much more than I could ever ask for. And I'm okay if he throws a pick a game, right? Like it's
Right.
fine because he usually makes up for it. And he did in the second half. He was pretty good. He just like he has these moments where like he just kind of panics and like he'll just throw a ball like 12 feet high and he's trying to hit Jefferson. I'm like, dude, you can throw this 10.5 feet in the air, like you have enough room. And
Mm-hmm.
then he'll just sail it over his head, or he'll throw ones that are like so short of the receiver because he's just trying to get it in there. I don't know if he's like scared to turn it over still or something, but like on the 2 point conversion, because that to me felt like the game. when they went for two. I was like, if they don't
That
get
was a
this, then the
really bad
Lions.
throw.
It was so bad,
It was a
and it
really
was
like
fast too. Like he threw it in like 2 seconds.
he gave up on that play so quickly. It was so
Exactly.
bizarre. And it was a big play because if you get that, you know. But no, I know what you're saying. Darnold, it's hard to complain about Darnold because, 259 yards for a touchdown and a pick is about all you can ask for him going up against the Lions who were in the NFC Championship game, right?
Yeah,
Um, you maybe, he's 22 for 27. He only had 5 misses.
they felt like big misses though.
God, no, and that's the thing, right? So the misses were just they were massive. And
Like one of them was on the. They got the ball back. They're up one with like what 3 minutes left, and they go
mhm,
three and out, and that was when one of the really bad incompletions was. Another really bad one was the 2 point conversion attempt, and then
mhm.
another really bad one was when he turned it over and
Yeah.
he tried to like force it into. I think it was Jordan Addison. He threw it into like three people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing, though. He's gonna have big misses, and your goal has to be, as the Vikings, to put him to make that line a winning line, to where you don't have to be in a situation where he has to win you games.
Yeah, I also want to say I didn't love the drive when we were up one from
Hmm.
Kevin O'Connell. I think we probably should have tried to force the Lions to use a timeout.
I agree.
And Aaron Jones was like he was balling. And I don't know why we didn't try to give it to him because like I don't know, man. Give it to him twice at least, and then like run some time off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is, and I don't know. I think I'm right about this, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. This felt like the biggest game of his coaching career.
Probably, yeah.
And as part of that, I think you're just gonna. I think it's so valuable to be in games like this
Oh,
where
I
you have to
agree.
make
I
big
think it was
decisions
great
down
for
the
us to
stretch.
be in this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you asked him tomorrow what he'd do different, he'd tell you exactly what you just said. I'd probably tried to chew some clock, you know, but
Yeah.
you're trying to ride that high.
Well, one thing I wonder if he was trying to have Sam Darnold make the plays because he knows Sam's gonna have to make those plays if they want this team to go far.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And honestly, I expect the second matchup to look a lot different. Like I think Flores is gonna have something for him the when we go
Yeah,
play in
I'm
Detroit.
I'm really excited for you guys to start playing teams twice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. Um, but
I
overall, dude, I think it was a good game, and you guys
yeah,
played well.
it was
And
a
the
great game.
fact that you put up 29 and you were in it and you had a chance to win it says a lot about where you guys are at.
Yeah, I kind of think this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this division split every single matchup.
I wouldn't either.
Like if every
Yeah.
team, like if we went 1-1 against the Packers, 1-1 against the Lions, 1-1 against the Bears, I would not be surprised.
No, I mean the Bears have a good defense, right? I mean, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, they
wouldn't be
do.
surprised if the Lions go 1-1, 1-1. You know what I mean? I mean, this could be a division that's insane.
Yeah. I don't hate losing here because I mean you're gonna lose games during the season. It's
Yep.
hard to win in the NFL. The Lions are a great team too, and it was, like we've just talked about for 5 minutes. It was a really close game and we had an opportunity to win it. Um, that being said, we have the Rams, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, and Bears, and then
So many
actually
winnable games.
Cardinals, Viking, or Cardinals, Falcons, Bears after that. So like the next eight, if we can just go like 5-3, six and
Oh, you're
two
gonna be so
ish,
happy.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm happy. Like if you told me preseason we'd be 5-1 and we beat the Packers, Texans, 49ers, and Jets, I'd take it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I am a little scared of the Rams though, just because I
No, I was
respect
just about to
Sean
say this is
McVay.
tough. This is tough, right?
I think
You've got to
Cooper
turn
Cup is
around
going to
and
be
play these
back.
guys, and I think Cup will be back.
Yeah, I
Um,
do think
one
T.J.
thing
Hawkinson is
is
supposed to be back too. But
I do think he's supposed to be back, and I think one thing I think that is positive for you guys about this is turn up the heat on that blitz. The Rams still have a really porous offensive line,
yeah, they do. And a
and
bad
you know,
defense. They have a very bad defense.
and they have a very bad defense. And I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to, you guys put up so many points. I mean, almost every game you're scoring multiple touchdowns, and if you can get to 23 points in this game, 21 points, you might be able to put this team to bed. If you can just kind of get there in a quick fashion.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Uh,
we have some stats from this year about every team that's played the Lions has lost the
Loses
next
the next
week,
game.
but
Yeah.
I am here to tell you we will be breaking that curse this week.
Let's
So I'm
go.
taking the
What are you
Vikings.
taking? Nice.
I'm taking them by 3
Yep.
and I think 48.
Yeah, it's a big number.
Problem is the Rams might only score 14.
Right.
I'm gonna stay off that.
Nice. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna take the Vikings to cover on the spread.
Okay.
I
I
think
have
it's the
one
right
more
play.
comment too.
Please.
Being in this spot where you lose a big game like this, that everybody already forgot about them, right? I was listening to Pardon My Take. They're already saying, "Oh,
Hmm.
who's the best teams in the NFC North?" Lions, Packers. They're already saying the Vikings are third. Nobody's talking about the Vikings. They're just sucking off the Lions. So, I
Right.
think O'Connell and Flores, both of them are gonna be able to spin this in a kind of a positive, motivating way for the team. And
Oh, they
hopefully we
got
can just
bulletin board material.
oh yeah, hopefully we can just get rolling again, rip off like I said 5 or 6 more out of the next 8, and then yeah, close out the season. Maybe steal one from the Lions to end the year. But I'm okay where I'm okay where things are at.
Yeah, I think you're fine. And one thing that I do think is super awesome is that you guys are gonna have that all year. You're still the nobody believes in us team.
Yeah.
No matter what, really, you're gonna be that all year.
Yeah.
It's not your
All
fault.
year.
But all year, I mean, that's a good spot to be in. It's a good spot to be in. And I
Yeah.
think, like you just read off those next couple of games you have. You're gonna rip off a bunch of wins in that window, and I think 10 wins gets you a playoff spot in the NFC. So,
Hopefully,
if
man.
you can,
I wonder if it's 11 now because we got the Lions are 6-1, the Packers are 5-2, the Vikings are 5-1, the Bears are 4-2 right now.
yeah, but it's just the rest of the NFC blows. The rest of the NFC is really bad. If you look at the other divisions, I know the Eagles got a big win this week, but that's a bad Giants team.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're rolling, man. They beat the Browns and the Giants.
They're on fire, man. Sirianni, man, he's got those guys playing. They really like him there. I think so bad.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, next game is going to be Ravens Browns. FanDuel doesn't have a line out yet. It doesn't look like. Do you have a FanDuel line? Because I don't. I just have a DraftKings line.
I don't. We can just go off whatever, though. That is
Yeah.
absurd.
11 and a
Let me
half on the road. The Ravens look unstoppable. They looked unstoppable tonight. They looked unstoppable last week. Lamar had 5 touchdowns tonight and no interceptions. They barely played Henry because they didn't have to. And that's genuinely how it feels when you're watching them. It feels like you're watching that middle of the season um, NBA team that's just crushing. and they don't have to try. And so they're not going to try their hardest. This is a crazy line. This is the biggest line I think I've seen this year. And the Ravens are on the road, which means if they were at home, it'd be 14, maybe
Yeah,
more.
13 and a half, probably.
Yeah.
This is without
Maybe.
Watson at quarterback too.
Right. Right. And I mean, if it's DTR, I don't have any problem with this line. I don't know who's starting. If it's Winston, I would like to say the Browns cover. But if it's DTR, I think the Ravens are going to cover this. And if I think they're going to cover 11 and a half, I don't see why I don't take the over with it.
Yeah, I mean this team is ridiculous. Like I'm watching Lamar get sacked like 3 times in a row, and he's like laughing.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah, dude.
that's how disrespectful they were to the Bucks defense tonight. They're like, oh, we'll just play Justice Hill. We don't even need Derrick Henry.
Dude, it's insane. It's like watching like an MC in an anime fight fodder that's supposed to be really tough, you know?
Yeah,
And
it's
you're like,
like
"Oh, great, dude. He just got punched 8 times in the face and now he's gonna knock this guy out with one hit. Or he's
yeah,
gonna
it's
let
like
Usopp
Madara
take him out."
coming back.
Yes,
He
dude.
just like he's just like kicking everyone and stuff. Yeah, man, it's like
Yeah.
the tonight I think was I mean it not that it's been much different, but like Lamar threw 2 touchdowns to Mark Andrews tonight, who's been like silent all year. He
Yep.
also threw like several deep balls to Bateman just for
Yep.
fun. I think Zay Flowers had what 1 catch after going off for like 122 yards the other week.
Yeah, but
They
what
brought
are they
Derrick Henry in. He ripped off an 80-yard run. It's like this team they have so many ways to beat you. And they're so powerful, right? Like they have Andrews and Likely, massive, massive players. They have Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, who I think might be like is he bigger than Derrick Henry? He might be a little taller. I don't know. It doesn't feel that much different when he's running the ball, though. He still runs with that same type of power. They have a guy that can smoke you in Bateman. They have Aguilar, who's good for like a catch or two a game, and then they have like Zay Flowers if they want. And then the defense is starting to like kind of round into shape too.
Yeah. For the record, Justice Hill is only 5'10", but he runs hard. Um,
Okay, he's tiny, but he's mass. He's really strong.
He's really strong. No, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. The team feels overwhelmingly strong and powerful, and it doesn't feel like there are many weaknesses, if any, really on the offense. And the more I think about it, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson is Madara with the Hashirama cells.
Dude, can you imagine when teams are gonna have to tackle Derrick Henry 20 times and it's like 5 degrees outside?
Yeah, no, I mean it's December in Baltimore.
It's gonna
It's
be hell.
January and February. Yeah, it's gonna I mean, it's awesome, and I hate that it's the Ravens.
I know you secretly hate it because they're your like division rivals, but I'm obsessed with the Ravens.
As a fan of the Steelers, I hate it. As a fan of the NFL, I can't.
That's I
You have to
think we're in
appreciate
similar
it.
spots because that's kind of how I feel about the Lions.
Yeah, and I mean, I lived in Baltimore for a year, um,
Sure.
and I've been to more Ravens games than any other NFL team by a very large margin. I mean, I was there Lamar's rookie season. I saw him take some of his first NFL snaps. It's not that I have a soft spot because I still hate the Ravens, but I have an appreciation for what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same as you though. 'Cause if
Good,
the
yeah,
Eagles can
I
put up
think so.
21 on the Browns, then I think the Ravens can they may be able to just cover this themselves. Be over.
Yeah, and when you watch that Browns team this week on defense, it just I know that the Bengals didn't score a bunch of points, but it felt like the Bengals left a lot of opportunity to score out there on the field.
They were kind of bad in the first half.
They were.
Like
They
they
were
only
bad. I
scored
mean,
off
when I
the
watched
kick
that
return.
game, right. When I watched, I went back to watch the highlights of that Bengals Browns game. I didn't get the vibe that the Bengals played all that well. It just looked like, hey, maybe the Bengals are, you know, winning this game because the Browns have such horrible vibes. If not for that, the Bengals probably lose this game. But that's what you do. You can get away with things like that when you play the Browns, and that's why I think that the Ravens are just going to steamroll this team.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
So I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be a blowout. Oh boy, the next game is not much better.
That's what I was laughing at.
The next game's brutal. The next game is Titans Lions. Um, Lions are favored by 10.5. Tennessee's been they're so hard to watch. It's so and I'm so happy we're at a point in the NFL now where these 10-point spreads actually matter. And you can actually take them seriously. And I don't have to play the game where I'm like, oh, I don't know, no teams covering, because I'm very comfortable taking the Lions to win here. We talk about it. The Lions have looked really good. They're a good team. Oh God, dude, Chris Godwin I think tore his ACL at the very end of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah, on a garbage
Oh,
time
Mike
play too.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
I think Evans had a hamstring, but I think Godwin's not moving his leg. Oh
Yeah, but
no.
that hamstring looked really bad.
Oh, it looked bad. Dude, that division, wow.
Oh, he
That
Charlie
division.
snapped his ankle. That's what
Oh my
happened.
God. Oh my
See it? It's
God.
sideways. It's or yeah, yeah, it's completely
Yeah.
sideways. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God.
Oh.
God, it doesn't even look like he hits it on anything.
Oh no, dude, that thing is completely snapped. Oh, look at it
Oh.
just lit. Oh no.
Oh my God. I gotta stop watching this.
Oh man. Well, there goes the Bucks season. That's tough.
That's tough.
They were such a frisky team this year, like a team
Oh,
that
they
you
were
had to
so fun
respect
to
no matter
watch.
what. Yeah. Oh, that
Um,
was gross, man. That was
that was gross.
man, why are you
That was
playing
gross.
guys when you're in garbage time like that?
That's on Todd Bowles. It sucks. Oh my God. All right, well, let's try to snap back into this shit.
Sorry.
No, no,
Those
no. We'll take like
those too
a
big
little
of
break
news to
here.
ignore.
That was too big a news to ignore. Yeah, yeah. No, I just flipped on, saw that he was hurt, and then threw on Twitter real quick, and it was the very first thing that popped up. All right. Titans Lions again. 10.5 points. I like the Lions to cover and win. I don't know if I will bite on the 45.5 just because I don't know if the Titans will score more than 3 points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to talk about the Titans either. There's a few teams we can just start moving past like really really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
And
Titans
the
are one of
Titans are
them.
Titans are definitely one of them. So, yeah, Lions probably by if this line was 15, I would probably still take the Lions. So,
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. I mean, at home, yeah, they're gonna kill these
yeah,
guys. Colts Texans. You want to talk about teams that I don't want to talk about? If the Colts are playing Anthony Richardson, I'm completely uninterested. The
same.
Texans are 5.5 point favorites. It's a 46.5 point over under. Um, they're in Houston. The Texans looked pretty good against Green Bay this week. They're definitely missing Nico Collins. But
So
man, they
bad.
can run the football so well. So
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Joe
Um,
Mixon is awesome this year.
yeah, and I think that just comes with the territory of having a guy like Stroud back there, tossing the rock around and having all the weapons they have offensively. And I think D'Amico Ryans is a top five coach in the league right now. And they lost that game on a last minute field goal, and that game goes 50-50 coin flip every time. Those are two of the better teams in the NFL. Uh, on the other hand, you have the Colts, who are so much worse when they're playing Anthony Richardson. And it's not fun. And I know they won this week and whatever, but you beat the Dolphins 10-6 or 10-16, sorry. And Richardson was 10 for 24 for 129 yards. I mean, it's unacceptably bad.
Yeah, yeah. This one's in the Stroud House too at Houston. I think C.J.
Yeah,
Stroud's going to have a big game against this team because he just threw for 86 yards against the Packers. They still almost won the game somehow, but I think they're going to bounce back pretty hard against
I
the
yeah,
Colts.
I agree. I think that this could be like a Tank Dell full revenge. I'm still here. Don't forget about me game.
Yeah, I think the Texans are a little banged up on defense too. And obviously, no Nico Collins is like such a huge loss to their offense, even though they have Diggs and Tank Dell. It's still like you can't replace a guy like Nico Collins.
Yeah, no, totally. And we were talking about it before he got hurt. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. And when one of the best receivers in the NFL is on your team and he gets hurt, things change. And both of these, I mean, not both of these, but both the Packers and the Texans, I think, are going to be really good in December. And, I wish I could see them play each other again and maybe we'll get a chance to. But, um, yeah, I like the Texans to cover the 5.5 here easy. And
Yeah,
I'm not going to
I
trust
do
the over.
too. I'm not a fan of Anthony Richardson, and I'm so glad I didn't draft him in fantasy.
Yeah, same.
You were right. You were so right about him.
Thank you, dude.
He has been hurt. He did have a couple of good games at the start, but I don't know if it looks that much different through, you know, 7 weeks right now. If he even if he
No,
doesn't
I
get
mean
hurt.
he's got 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's got a 42.8 QBR. I took so much offense to the Cam Newton comparisons because it took so much away from what Cam Newton was able to do as a starting quarterback in those MVP seasons. I thought it was really insulting. I watched those games and they were awesome, and he was really, really, really good. And I think that it was just a little bit of hyperbole because we all want the guy to be the guy, and Richardson's not, you know.
No, he's not.
And
Well,
and I'm not saying
who
that it's
knows?
complete. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a complete no or a complete like you should give up on this guy or whatever. But what I am going to say is that it's not right now. It's not it. And if you are trying to win this year, you're playing Joe Flacco, which is probably not a good sign for Richardson.
He just can't throw, man.
No, he's not accurate. I mean, it's not that he's not accurate, it's that he is entirely inaccurate.
Yeah, like it's so bad. I mean, he can definitely throw the football far. It's just not. I don't know. He already cut his hair off too. He's going
Nah,
through
it's
it.
always not good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want my quarterback going through hair changes.
No, no, definitely not.
Never a good sign.
No.
Got to give it to Joe Burrow for sticking it out with the shitty hair. Got to give it to him.
Yeah, well, you only have so many options when you're white of what you can do with your hair. So,
Yeah. No, that's
I
true.
guess he could have dyed it back brown, but
Yeah, or shaved it again.
yeah, true.
So give it to the guy. He fought through the bad hair to now where if he cut nobody'd say anything. Next game. Oh, God, I can't wait for
This made me mad just looking at this.
the line on this.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, it pisses me off too because it feels disrespectful to the Packers. Packers at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming back from their, annual trip to England, their future home. Um, yeah, Jacksonville beat the Patriots. I think that it was just so pathetic to be that happy about beating that Patriots team. And the Packers are coming off of a massive win against the Texans where they looked super good and their defense looked not amazing, but super competent, playing a team that still has a ton of weapons. And the Packers are 4.5 point favorites. The over under is 49.5. This is ridiculous. I love the Packers here. 4.5. I think I'm tempted to take the over, uh, but I can't because I don't. I think the Jaguars are going to score 10 points in this game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how is this 49.5 also? Because I like the Jaguars played the Bills, who aren't that great on defense, and they put up, what, 10 points?
No, this is I
This
think
is
an
crazy.
overreaction. I think this is just a flat overreaction to what we saw in this last week in England, and these guys are flying back, so their internal clock's going to be all jacked up, and they've got to play what the third, second, one of the top five, uh, a, a top five team in the NFC, easy, maybe a top five team in the NFL. I think they're going to get absolutely smacked around.
Yeah, this is gonna be ugly, and I'll definitely check in for it.
Oh, I'll have it on, dude. If not just for the fact that it's going to confirm so many things that we've been saying.
Yeah, this line should be like at least 6.5, maybe 7.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree. Do you love how they've given us 8 1 o'clock games?
oh yeah, dude, it's my favorite. So when, 6 of the games are close, I can only watch 4 of them, but one of them's the national game, so I can actually only watch 3.
Right.
And then the fourth one on the quad box that they give me is a blowout. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Luckily, some of these games are, well, I don't know. Most of them are bad, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this next game's really bad, and we don't have to say much about it. These are two really uninspiring teams. Cardinals, Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 3. I'm guessing that's because they anticipate Tua being back. Um,
Yes, he'll be back.
hey, here's my message to Tua. I don't know who's your family and your friends or anything like that. I know that you're a competitive dude and you want to prove that you can still play football. Don't. You got paid like $250 million, dude. And the Dolphins are never not going to pay you that money. Your brain's more important. Don't do it. Your team's not making the playoffs this year anyway. Don't. That's my
Yeah, so
message.
so my message to Tua is I respect that he wants to play football, but why are you not gonna wear the Guardian cap?
Dude, and this is the biggest miss of all of it because Tua, dude, if you wear the Guardian cap and you become like the face of concussions for the NFL, you have a legacy. You have a
I
message
see
that you can
guys
send
wearing
to
them
younger
more.
generations. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see every week. I feel like I see more guys wearing those things.
I saw a guy tonight, one of the O-line guys on the Bucks had one on.
A couple Steelers wear them.
They don't look bad. Like I mean, they're not as cool as a helmet, obviously, but it's not about being cool. It's about being able to use your brain after, you turn 35.
It takes nothing away from the game for me personally.
No, I actually I like it, and I think it's crazy how more people don't wear them.
You know what I think it would be cooler if they just didn't put like the swim cap over it and they just let the padded thing on the helmet be there with the team logo on it. I think that'd look kind of sick
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure they'll make the caps cooler as time goes on.
as time
But
goes by, for sure. But yeah, Tua, just wear it, man. Send the right message, dude. You know,
yeah. Hey, we figured
don't.
out a way to help out the chances of getting a concussion, and like 98% of the league is like, nah, it looks dumb.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it doesn't look cool, dude. I can't
Right.
I can't wear 8 mouthpieces with that."
Yeah.
It's so fucking yeah, no, dude. It shows the state of mind for some of these guys. Man, I don't want to bet this game, period, but for some reason I like the Cardinals on the road here.
Um, Cardinals won on a field goal, by the way.
Yeah, last minute field goal.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the Cardinals too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really trust it one game back. I feel like Tua's. I mean, he might say he's not scared, but I think he's gonna be a little timid in this first game.
I agree. I agree. And I don't know if I don't know, I know that the difference between Tua and Ty Huntley is actually pretty large. I think if anything, with Tua being gone, he's shown how valuable he actually is as a player. To have a B
Yeah.
quarterback is a really good thing. Um,
Hmm.
and I know that if Tua's fully healthy and they're playing fully confident in him, they probably do beat the Cards at home. But I just have a feeling there's gonna be some hesitation, and I also have a feeling that this isn't gonna go as smoothly as people think, and this is a good spot for the Cards. And the Cards win this, of course, they reemerge as a potential, playoff team, which is so annoying because
Oh, potential fun team. Lose to the Dolphins, 34-10
right.
incoming.
No, and that's exactly yeah, yeah, and the more that I think about it, this is like the perfect spot for the Cards to make me look like an asshole, but I'm gonna throw my belief behind him.
I give up, man. I'll pick the Cardinals every now and then, but I genuinely have no idea what to do anytime that they play.
Me neither. They're like it's like Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny when he's like, gotta have a wild card, and people don't like a wild card. You know, they cut the brakes on the van. Wild card Cardinals. It's like, oh God, dude. Um,
Yeah.
this next game is a pooper.
You're not gonna watch this?
Oh, just because it's a pooper doesn't mean I'm not gonna watch it, Jalen. No, this is bad. Jets Pats. The Jets are
This is
favored by
awesome.
7 in New England. I mean, this is classic. Part of me just wants the Patriots to win this game so badly. Um, and that part of me is the part that's going to take the Patriots to cover, but the Jets to win. Um, I don't know why the Jets should be favored by 7 points against anybody. I don't care really who it is. Over under is
I
41 and a half.
I don't know either. Last time these teams played, the Jets won by 7. Um, I'm just gonna I and I said this last week against you guys, given I didn't know that Russell Wilson was gonna play. I thought Fields was gonna play, and I think Fields maybe loses that game last night. But I just think the Jets, dude, they have to win. And they have like I know we're deciding on like the cover here, but I don't know, man. I think I think they have to come out with something, and if that means throw the ball to Devontae Adams 11 times,
56
then
times. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's gonna happen. And also, we got to talk about Garrett Wilson because that ball hitting him in the chest
That's tough, dude.
it's unacceptable for a receiver like him.
I Yeah, I mean that it was a crucial play too. And the DB might have tipped it a little bit, but it was not enough for it to do what it did. And he's Garrett Wilson. He's supposed to come down with that. The problem with the Jets seems a lot larger than what happened than how Garrett Wilson played. Um, Rogers, dude, Rogers almost made my hate list this week because and if he wasn't playing the Steelers, he would have been. But I was so happy that the Steelers are the team that beat Rodgers in that moment. Because I'm a Rodgers hater. Come at me for it. I'm so sick of watching him be pissed off at everything all the time with everyone when he's part of the problem here. Like, hey man, Nathaniel Hackett's your buddy. He's still the offensive coordinator, even though he doesn't call plays, so I don't really know what he does.
Horrible.
Horrible. You fired a head coach who at least had the defense playing well when he was there. Now the defense looks terrible. Um, and every time that anything goes wrong, you're pointing the finger and throwing your hands up on the sideline. You're a miserable person to be around, you know? I don't get it.
You know what
The
I
take
don't
on this
get?
or
Like, I know the play calling is bad, but how is this team only scoring 20 points a game?
I mean, before they got Devontae
I
Adams,
don't
how are
get
they
it,
only scoring
dude.
20 points a game?
That's what I mean. Like, they have so much talent.
So much talent. So much talent.
I don't know. I'm
Brees
gonna take the
Hall.
Jets to cover though. Like
Okay.
seven
Finally, we have
feels
a
fine.
disagreement.
Like, well, I mean, you think the Patriots
So
can lose
mild.
by 7. I think the Jets can lose or can win by 7. We're saying the same thing,
Yeah,
basically.
no, it's
So
true. It's true. Yeah, it's tough. But it would be really awesome if the Jets lost this game. I'm just gonna throw it out
oh,
there.
it'd
I
be
just think it
so
would be
great.
funny.
I'll be cheering for the Pats for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Next game. This game just got more and more interesting with the Godwin injury. I found a line on it. It's Tampa by 2.5. It's Atlanta
What?
at Tampa Bay. Tampa's favored by 2.5. This keep in mind this is probably an old line.
No, no, Bucks are 2.5 point dogs. Wait, you said Atlanta by 2.5, right?
Oh, I had Tampa by 2.5. So this is flipped since.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big change. Falcons by 2.5. I mean, I'm guessing this is a reaction to the fact that Godwin and Mike Evans are likely
Okay.
not to play, and the Buccaneers defense just doesn't look like they can stop anything. Man, this is a really tough spot for the Bucks. They're coming off of a brutal game where they just got beat up and hammered and injured against the Ravens, which is what happens when you play the Ravens. And the Falcons are coming in off of an awful game. The Falcons look so bad this week.
Yeah. That was not
They
good
got
for them,
killed
man.
by Seattle. And these are two teams that I just think this division went from, oh wow, they've got actually a couple of teams that I think are better than maybe others, to okay, 9-8's going to win this division, and who's going to be the first team to 9? And with all these injuries to the Bucks, I have no idea how to assess this. I'm compelled to take the Falcons, but I'm going to take the Bucks uh, to
Oh,
win and to cover.
okay. Yeah, you always take the Bucks,
I
and I
do.
always
I
take the
do.
Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, the
wanted to take
Falcons
the
are
Falcons, but
they should probably win this game.
they should, for sure. I love what Baker. I think that Baker can maybe throw the ball against that defense. They have no pass rush. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. This division sucks. I do have a funny side note about the Falcons though, because I was watching
Breeze.
a little bit of the game on Sunday. My dad was over, and
Oh, let's go.
um, so they've been giving Bijan the ball a lot more. And my
Sure.
dad was just like, Bijan made this catch, like this one hander where he like grabbed it from like behind his head, and then you know had some had like maybe I don't know 12 yards of after the catch too. My dad's like, "Who was that running back? Did you see that catch?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, well that's Bijan Robinson." And he's like, "Who's that guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's in his second year. They don't really give him the ball that much. Like they're starting to give it to him more." And he's like, "Man, that guy looks really good." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, he is. He should probably be getting the ball even more than he is." But yeah, it was just funny for someone who like, because my dad doesn't watch a ton of football outside of the Vikings,
Right.
Um,
No, it's the same thing for my dad. My dad only really watches the Steelers, and he
yeah,
follows the draft on guys that the Steelers could potentially take, but outside of that, he doesn't really know what's going on. I mean, he knows what's going on within the division. But anytime the Steelers play, when the Steelers play the Giants this week and Malik Neighbors has 7 catches and they're one-handed and some of them are phenomenal. You can already hear my dad. They're letting a fucking rookie do this to us? God, they suck. He's all pissed off. And who the fuck is this guy? 'Cause he's never seen him.
it's like, Dad, he's actually top 5 in yards this year in the
Yeah, it's like this
NFL.
guy's top five, and my dad will go, "Well, he's a fucking rookie. They can't stop him. The Steelers can't stop anybody." And then he'll go storm outside, dude.
Yeah, there is a little. I'm guessing if you told your dad like or asked your dad, what do you think about Travis Hunter? He'd be like, "Who's that?"
Oh, he follows Colorado because my sister
Oh
went
wait,
there.
because of Utah, right? Too,
Yeah,
because
because of
he probably
Utah and my
knows
sister
Travis
went
Hunter.
there. Yeah,
That's
well,
true. I
I know
forget that
exactly
you
what he'd
guys.
say. Oh, he plays for Dion, that fuck.
Yeah.
Nobody hates showboating more than my dad. Nobody.
Uh, yeah. Anyways, get Beasley on the ball more. He should be able to run all over this defense.
Yeah, no, he should be. I mean, and Big Kirko back there slanging, bro.
Yeah, he's got to get back to it, man. He's had a massive fall off since the last game against the Bucks.
No, I know. But God, and honestly, if the Falcons win, I won't be too upset because then I get some Big Kirko videos, and those are my favorite thing on the internet right now.
The swag surf, that's like been one of
Swag
my
surf.
favorites this whole year.
Just well, it's great, dude. I love like these mixtapes that people will make, and it's like, it's like fuck it, we're gonna do Kirk Cousins highlights, and it's just him with the chains on, with like really hardcore gangster rap music, and he's throwing
And then
dimes, and
it always starts with like, "You like that?"
yes, it always starts with the "you like that" clip, dude. It's the
I'm so
best.
invested in the Falcons just because like I have these players that have played for the Vikings in the past that I just can't let go of, and some of them are worse than others. But like Diggs, I love Diggs, and I watched him when he was in Buffalo. I'm a big Texans fan, and it probably has to do with him. A good part of it does. And then
Hmm.
like Kirk, I watch all the Falcons games because I like Kirk. I'm still
Yep.
stuck on Adam Thielen. I loved that guy when he was in Minnesota. And
Oh,
then
how can you
you know
not love
you
Adam
probably do the
Thielen?
same thing with like old Steelers players. Like actually, I know
Oh,
for a
dude,
fact
Mike
you do because
Hilton.
James Conner.
Yeah, James Conner. Yep. No, yeah. There are some guys that capture your heart when they play for a team that you love, you know, or like, you know, in a system that you
Diggs
really like.
especially, man.
Dude, Diggs.
Diggs
Yeah.
has like the greatest football moment of my like entire life.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I know exactly. Mike Hilton for the Bengals, even though he's in our division, I loved Mike Hilton on the Steelers. He was so awesome as a nickel corner. And when we let him go, I was so upset. So,
Yeah,
no,
I
there's guys
like
like that.
yeah. I mean, same thing with like Daniil Hunter. He's on the Texans now too.
Yeah,
He
dude.
was huge on Minnesota, man. We had him for years.
Years. No, I know. I know. I know the exact feeling. Um, it blows. I mean, Deontay Johnson, not so much, but a little bit. I'll cheer for him here and there. I don't really care though.
Well, you
Uh,
drafted him.
that was an investment, Jalen.
Sure.
No, there's a little bit of love.
You like his
Next
upside.
game. This game's actually kind of good, right? This is a prove it on both ends, I think.
Yeah,
Whoever wins
definitely.
this game is going to be a playoff team is kind of how I get. And If the other loses, it's not the end of the world, but it's panic button time in a big way. Uh, Eagles, Bengals in Cincinnati. This will be on one of my screens for sure.
For sure.
Uh, Bengals are 2.5 point favorites. The over/under is 47.5. Both of these teams are. Are there two teams that are more similar that are in more similar spots than these two teams? Can't trust either of them, right?
I would say that I would favor the Eagles to make the playoffs just because their division is significantly worse. But
Yes.
outside of that, I feel like they're pretty close.
They're like both these disasters with so much talent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense why they're disasters and you can't put your nose on it, but then you look at the Bengals defense and you're like, "Oh my God, that defense is terrible." And then you look at the Eagles and it's like, "Well, their coach is a weirdo." Um, this is a great game. This is gonna be so
Yeah,
much fun.
I kind of want to hammer the over on this because both
Yeah, I was
defenses
thinking
are
the
so
exact same
bad.
thing. Both defenses are bad. I mean, I know that the Eagles held the Giants to 3 points, but that throw that away. Both these defenses are bad. The Bengals are not going to score just 3 points. I cannot believe this is not a 50-point over under. I'm hammering the over on this. And I'm taking the Bengals because I love Joe Burrow.
Okay, I'm doing the exact opposite. Besides,
Nice.
I'm going to take the over as well. But
Okay.
um, yeah, I hope this is a really fun game to watch.
I do too. I'm begging for this one to be good because in the morning slate, really, I guess I'll have the Browns Ravens on. I guess I'll have the God. I'll have the Packers and the Texans on and the Lions on because they're all good teams, but this is the best game
Yeah,
by far.
this is definitely a quad screen or a quad box Sunday because I'm not like overly intrigued by any of these games besides this one. So I'll probably be
Yeah,
watching
well,
a
and
bunch at the same
both of
time.
us both of us don't have our teams playing on Sunday, so it's kind of nice. I just, get
Oh
to
yeah,
enjoy
we
my Sunday
don't.
flat out,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah,
Um,
I might have already said this, but do you feel like Nick Sirianni is, or I feel like Joe Mazzulla is what Nick Sirianni wishes he was.
yes, yes. You've made this point before and you're 100% correct
Okay.
about this. Yeah,
Okay, maybe it is.
you're
Yeah.
100%
My
right
bad.
about this. No, 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 no. It's a point that should maybe be made every week to not only torture Philadelphians, but hammer home a very well made point. Yeah, no, the people of Philadelphia hate Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
I've talked to every Eagles fan I've ever talked to is like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's hard to root for sure.
He's tough to cheer for. It's just weird. I don't know. It's the behavior that's so weird to me. He acts like a child all the time. So bizarre. Not a fan. Not a fan. Next game.
Oh,
Finally turn ourselves into the afternoon. Saints
great way to kick it
Chargers.
off.
Great way to kick it off. One of these games that, people are talking about at the water cooler all week. Who you got? Saints, Chargers in LA. Not that that matters at all that a game is in LA. Chargers are 7 point favorites. The over under is Jalen a whopping 39.5. The Saints look so bad with who's playing Desmond Ritter? No, it's
No, Spencer
Spencer Rattler.
Rattler.
By the way, same person. Spencer Rattler, Desmond Ritter, they exist in the same part of my brain.
Um,
Rattler, not very good in
sure.
my opinion. I thought he looked awful this week.
Yeah,
And
against the Bucks too. Right? Or who did they play? They played. Oh,
no,
they played on Thursday, right?
yeah, they played a good team on
Who did they
Thursday
play?
night.
Denver. They played the Broncos.
Yeah, I think Denver's actually sneaky okay.
Yeah, they are.
We're gonna get to
They're
them.
they're all right.
Yeah, they might be a playoff team.
Crazy.
The Saints are playing the Saints are playing the Chargers in LA, and this is a 7 point favorite for the Chargers. It has to be just because Rattler's playing. I think the Chargers are going to punch him in the mouth, but 7 point feels like way too many points for this team, for this Chargers team.
I feel like the Chargers defense is pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Oh, I hate games like this so much, like where I'm just deciding between a really shitty team and like an okay team, and the line is massive.
Yeah,
Like this is one of the hardest bets to make. Like,
mainly
are the
due to the
Chargers
fact,
gonna win by
yeah,
7? I don't even know if they're gonna score 7.
the Chargers could
They
win
could,
this
they
game
could win.
6-3.
They could win 6-3.
I'm going to take the Chargers to win and the Saints to cover just because I don't know what to do. And that feels the safest lane to stick myself in on this and then just stay away from the over under because this could be 16-10, this could be 13-6, this could be 41-3. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's just what you do when you want to just, you know, guarantee yourself a point also. Um, I'm gonna do the
Yeah,
same thing because I'm probably not even gonna know who won this game until the Sunday or until the afternoon games end, and I'm waiting to watch the
hmm
Sunday night game. I'll be like, oh, well, yeah, the Chargers played today, and I'll see
Yep.
Spencer Rattler. Um, I don't know, probably throw 2 picks. The Chargers defense will probably score in this game at some point.
Yep.
It's definitely a shit storm, Randy.
It's the winds of shit, Rand. They're blowing in. Can you smell it, Rand? This next game's a really good game, actually. I'm excited about it. These are two teams that I think are very fun to watch. You got Buffalo and Seattle. Buffalo's favored by 3. The over-under's 47 or 47 and a half, depending on where you're looking. And Buffalo's been so weird this year. They sit at 5-2. Their two losses are kind of gnarly, where they didn't look very good. But
Yeah, they
man, they
got the
beat
shit
teams they're
kicked out of
supposed
them
to beat.
by the Ravens, and then I can't remember the
And
other team
then
they lost to.
they lost by a field goal to Houston the following week,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
which was a good game, and they played all right. But those are two teams that you got to beat one of them. It felt like for the Bills to be taken super seriously, but the Bills look like every week they improve somewhere on the field. And it looks like Josh Allen builds relationships with his receivers every week. They get a little bit better. Every week, him and Keon Coleman develop a little bit more. Every week, he's starting to figure out where he sits. It's just the defense maybe not there all the way. Seattle, on the other hand, it seems like they lost some dumb games. Seems like they probably should have, you know, a little bit better record than they have. Maybe one more win, maybe two more wins.
I think they're
I know
healthy
that
now.
yeah, and the Giants loss is so weird. In all of this mess, the Giants loss is so weird.
Yep.
And the beating they put on Atlanta was really convincing.
Yeah.
All that being said, all the positive that I just said about Seattle, I'm going to take Buffalo and I'm going to take them to cover. And I
You're
think
not.
I'm going to take the over.
I was gonna say this feels like an over to me because both these teams. I think Gino leads the league in pass yards and pass attempts right
He
now.
does. Yeah, he
They
does.
throw the ball like crazy.
A
I think this is
lot.
a really fun game. Um, I do want to say I think you're gonna see Dalton Kincaid start to like take off a little bit now that they have Cooper, and now that people are like you were saying builds relationships with the receivers because Keon Coleman seems like he's getting better. Um, and I think it's
hmm
going to open up a lot for not only Kincaid, but I think they're going to have to respect the passing game more than, or defenses are going to have to respect it more than they were. And so it should open up a little bit for James Cook or whoever's playing running back. I know he's got like the turf toe he's dealing with. But
Yep.
yeah, this offense should should start looking really scary, I think.
It's only a matter of time, right?
Yeah, and I'm really pulling for I would love to see Josh win MVP.
Same. And he's fine. You know, Josh is. It's funny. It seems like he's actually starting to figure out the interception thing. He's playing a
Yeah.
little bit more responsibly, uh, and it's been a joy. It's been really fun to watch. He doesn't have a pick yet this year. You know,
No way.
12 TDs, 0 INTs. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
and you know, as far as attempts go, he's not the lead leaguer in attempt by any mean. I think he's
Oh, but still,
what
that
he's
was the criticism from everybody. He
right.
throws so many interceptions.
No, I know, and he's if interceptions leaders, he's at 0.
Yeah, well, guess who's leading interceptions?
His name's
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, and his name is
Yep.
Jordan Love. They're tied,
Oh,
and
Jordan
Gardner
Love throws
Minshew.
so many picks, dude. He throws so many touchdowns, but so many interceptions.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's
It's
hilarious,
really fun
actually.
to watch, though. I like it.
Really fun to watch. I love watching Jordan Love.
I'm doing the same as you, by the way. I'm taking the Bills and the over and the cover.
Nice. And the cover. Yeah. Next game is an awesome game, and I pray to God Jaden Daniels can play, but I don't think he will. It's Bears Commanders in Washington. The Bears are 2.5 point favorites in Washington, which indicates to me that they don't think that Jaden is going to be ready to go. The Commanders are coming off of absolutely slapping the Panthers, who are too hard to watch and not worth talking about. It was still, I thought it was still impressively convincing what they did and how they handled themselves in a game where they lost their starting quarterback, putting up 40 points. I don't know what to
I
do
think
here.
Jaden's gonna play, man.
I do too. I don't. I kind of.
So
I
I
got the
don't think
feeling
he's
that
hurt.
Jaden didn't play because they didn't need him to play, and they thought, why would we put him
Yeah,
out there?
yeah, exactly.
That's how I felt. And I know that Dan Quinn said he was week to week, but I just didn't get the feeling that that was a decision. You see guys come back from broken ribs and play in the same game. I'm not saying it's not painful. I'm not saying that what he went through like was he's being soft. I just think that the team made a decision that it wasn't worth it to play him. And Jane Daniels seems to have that dog in him. I think he's going to want to play. I like the Commanders here,
Yeah,
and I
I don't
love.
think his ribs are I don't think his ribs are broken because like I don't know if you saw that clip, but when he puts his hands up,
Mm-mm.
like when someone on the commander scored and he like shot his hands up and he's on the sideline like arms all the way up. I was like, you don't really
Oh,
do
okay.
that if you have broken ribs. So I think he's fine. I would be willing to let you have a alternate on this if he isn't playing though. I think that's fair because I think we're both going to take the Commanders.
Okay, so we'll alternate this if he's not playing.
Yeah, because if it's Mariota, then I probably would pick the Bears.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope both of them
Which
play. This could be really fun.
it could be really fun, and it'll be on the screen if they're both playing. It'll be on the screen no matter what. Uh, Caleb Williams gets more and more watchable every week.
Yeah,
Next game, this is a poop facta. This is a game that I don't really want to watch. Any game that involves the Panthers, I don't want to watch. It's Panthers at Broncos. Broncos are favored by 7.5. The over/under is 43.5. I don't know if the Panthers are going to score a single point against the Broncos. I'm tempted to take the under because of that. Actually, I'm going to take the under because of that. And I'm going to take the Broncos to win and cover. I think this
yeah.
is the worst team in football by a long shot. And the fact that anything is under 10 points right now feels like a gimme.
Yeah, They're really bad. Unfortunately, I have fantasy stock in the Panthers. I have Chuba, so I usually turn on their
Mm,
games at some point. He has been probably the only thing good about this team this year, or only
I
consistent
agree.
thing. I'm kind of wondering if he's going to get traded.
I mean, he's a league leader in rushing. He's fifth in the league in rushing,
Yeah,
and
he's been
he's
really
wasting
good.
away on this team. There's going to be a team who could use him.
Yeah, I feel like 43.5 is kind of high for a Broncos game too.
Yeah, it feels way too high, especially against a team that just scored what 7 point? Did they score?
Yeah, they scored
They scored
7.
7 points against the Commanders, who are terrible defensively.
Yeah, they're really bad. Yeah, I'm with you on those picks.
Right on. The next game, Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs are favored by 9.5 in Oakland.
It's not enough.
It's probably not enough, and I want it to be enough because the Raiders have always traditionally played these guys really tough, but their offense is terrible. That was so bad this week, and it's not getting any better. And the Chiefs' defense is actually really good. Um,
So good. I hate
so
it.
good. But God, I got this feeling that the Chiefs they got to come out flat once.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they just I think they want the 1 seed really bad.
I do. I think they need the 1 seed because they don't want to have to play Baltimore in Baltimore again.
Listen here, Charlie. The Chiefs don't need anything besides an opportunity to play. Okay?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
They
Don't.
just
Yeah,
need
when you
a
put it like
stadium
that,
to
yeah.
play in January, and they'll be fine. But
Yep.
I think the home field gives them, you know, the at least
The extra
a
bump.
field goal advantage against
Hmm.
pretty much anybody. So I think they're trying to get that because Arrowhead is just a crazy place to play, especially in the playoffs and especially with all these annoying fans and Taylor Swift and
Hmm.
yes, I don't see them losing. It would be so funny if the Raiders beat the Ravens and the Chiefs though.
Oh, wow. You're really giving me something to cheer for here.
Yeah, and
Um,
guess what? You already mentioned his name, but he just got signed a couple hours ago. Desmond Ritter is on the Raiders now.
oh, that's so funny. Oh, wow, the Raiders are so funny. Yeah, here's the problem. I can't think of anybody on the Raiders offense who could do anything to make me change my mind about this. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win.
Are you doing it?
I'm going to take the Raiders to cover.
Oh, he's doing it. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Division
expecting
game.
about I'm expecting about a 28-10 game, I would say.
You're definitely more right than I am, and it's
Hey,
nine
it's
and a half
okay.
isn't enough, but
Look, it's fun. It's fun to pick against the Chiefs.
it is. And do you think I'd learned my lesson?
Nah, yeah.
Sunday night, this game on paper would be fun, but man, it's just so sad for the Niners right
It
now.
sucks.
The Cowboys suck. The Cowboys are a last second touchdown against the Steelers away from being, I don't know, near the bottom of their not so great division. At least being tied or near tied for the bottom of their division because the Giants have played one more week than they have. The Niners are so injured, it's sad. I genuinely feel bad for them. You've
Yeah,
got
so Ayuk,
Debo's in the
Debo,
hospital.
Nadia Jennings isn't even healthy.
Jawan Jennings isn't healthy. Their number one receiver right now on the depth chart is a guy who got shot like a couple months ago. That's not even, I'm
McCaffrey's
not even
still out.
joking. Yeah, Debo's in the hospital with pneumonia, which is serious and not, you know, I guess to be joked about in any way. And Ricky Pearsall is their number one receiver.
Yeah. Um, I
Ayuk's done
still
for the
feel
year.
yeah, he's done. And I still would feel weird picking the Cowboys in this game.
No, this feels like a great spot for the Niners to come in and roll.
I think they just are gonna run the ball 25 times with Mason.
That's what I think too. Yeah, and I think that Purdy's going to throw a touchdown to Kittle, maybe one to use check, and they're
Oh,
going to
true.
steamroll. And it's going to be one of these games. It's going to be one of these games where everyone realizes that the Niners aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
Just because they're super injured doesn't mean that they can't win games. And I was talking to my friend today. The Niners feel like a classic back their way into the playoffs, into the wild card, upset a team in the first round, and then now we're really talking. I mean, this could be the
Well,
back end season for them if it's not the year from hell.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this too. Um, I know Brandon Ayuk's good, but I
Hmm.
don't think that he's anything that Jawan Jennings can't replace.
I totally agree, 100%.
And you're gonna get McCaffrey back at some point. You just
Hmm.
know that this Pearsall guy is gonna end up being like solid, right? Like good for
Right.
3 catches a game, probably. Purdy's
Debo's not
good.
gonna Debo's not
Debo's
gonna have
gonna come back.
pneumonia all year.
Yeah,
He'll
he
be
doesn't have
back.
cancer. Like he'll be back in a few
Right.
weeks.
the defense is healthy as far as I know, which is honestly like I don't know if you said would you rather lose Fred Warner or Ayuk, I'm sure everybody would say Ayuk. So like that their defense
Right.
is healthy, that matters a lot. I'm not quitting this team yet.
Me neither. And
I
I
could
feel like they're gonna just
100% see them beating. You know what they're gonna do, Charlie? They're gonna make it in as a wild card and they're gonna upset the Vikings.
I wasn't gonna say it, too.
Oh, it's okay.
I wasn't gonna
It's
say it.
yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it. It's a real possibility.
Or the
Although
Lions.
the only
I
thing
could
that, yeah, the only thing that you have hope for is that the Lions, that these guys are like you know what, you want to know what the real scenario is. The Lions get the 1 seed. You and the Packers have the 2 wild card seeds above San Francisco.
yeah, we need
And
that.
San Francisco beats, I don't know, the Commanders in the first round. And because they're the lowest wild card seed, they play the Lions in Detroit that next week
Yeah, then they
and get their
knock out
chance to
Detroit,
knock.
and then we
And then
knock
they,
out them, and we're in the Super
right,
Bowl.
right. That's
Dude,
it right
great
there.
take. Yeah, that's exactly what you were gonna say. Yeah,
How do you like that?
yeah, I love that.
I love delusional fan projections of the playoffs. It's pretty great.
That'll never happen, dude. You know they're gonna match up and beat the shit out of us. It's gonna be terrible. McCaffrey's just gonna run all over us, and then yeah,
Like
it's gonna be
300
great.
yards, dude. Yeah.
That's it. And then I'll just be at halftime. I'll be like, well, at least we got JJ McCarthy next year.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, I think we both agree the Niners are going to kill the Cowboys here, right?
Yeah, the Cowboys are bad.
Cowboys are bad, and I don't want to cheer for them, so
No.
it's easy. Final game, we made it Monday night. No bye week in week 8. So bizarre. Giants Steelers. Um, Steelers coming off of, we've talked about it, one of the best games of the year that they've played. If not, it's the best game they played this year. Um,
Hmm.
they're 5.5 point favorites. The over under is 36.5. Feels really low.
Giants
Um,
defense is I don't know.
yeah, the Giants defense isn't bad, right? I mean, we both agree that we think they're pretty good. Um, I like the Steelers here. I like them to cover. I like the over. I'm going to go all three. Boom.
Oh, you're going with the over.
Hmm.
My
This is
problem
it.
with the over
This is
is
the rust test right here.
yeah, my problem with the over is I don't know if the Giants are gonna score 3 points or 14 points. If they score
Right.
three, then it's which is what they just did this last week against the Eagles. Um, I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Nice.
Gonna take them to cover, and I think we need to get back to the unders. So I'm gonna take the under.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Do you have an update on the score, by the way? I forgot to ask at the beginning.
Oh yeah, so you're up. Actually, let me see. We hit the Cardinals. Wow, not gonna be saying that too much. You got a 4 point lead. You actually put up 22 points this week. You're pretty good. I had 18,
That
so you're back up
puts me
four.
at 96, and that puts you at what?
92.
92?
Yep. I lost two in the 49ers Chiefs game, but to
Oh,
be
okay.
fair, I didn't know we were gonna get a torn ACL, pneumonia, and
Yeah.
you know, I should have known though.
Nope.
It's my bad.
It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You
Never
should have
again
known that
will I
God
pick
was
I'm
protecting them.
not gonna look, you messed up this week already. That Raiders plus 10 is not happening, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
It might. Who knows? Hey, did we talk about
Uh,
Deshaun Watson?
no,
We got to talk
no.
about that real
And we got
quick.
to talk a little bit about it real quick. John Watson tears his Achilles. It's it looks awful. He's clearly in a ton of pain. There are Browns fans cheering in the stands. Um, I don't.
Deshaun Watson's crying as he gets carted
Deshaun
off.
Watson's crying as he gets carted off. There are fans standing and cheering. His teammates have supported him in a very intense way. Miles
Jameis.
Garrett even said that he's a model citizen, which is a very hot take, piping
Yeah.
hot. I don't know. Maybe Miles Garrett doesn't read the news. I don't know. I felt I feel bad for Browns fans. I don't really know how I feel about the situation. I mean, it sucks that a guy got hurt. It felt like the Browns were just praying that this was going to happen, which feels even more fucked up instead
Oh
of just
yeah.
benching him, right? I mean, there's nobody happier than the Browns, really, that this happened because he's not going to play for an entire year, maybe more. And when he comes back, if he's bad, you just blame it on the injury and you kind of wipe your hands clean of it and you take the dead cap hit and you say, well, we tried, right?
Yeah, I have pretty mixed feelings on this because when I saw the injury, I wasn't like, I mean, as much as we joked about him getting hurt,
Right.
I actually didn't get that much satisfaction out of it. I'm okay with
No.
the Browns fans like being happy they don't have to watch him, but personally, I was like, that's a bad way to go out, and I don't. I had a. I kind of felt like watching him on the cart when he was crying. I was like, does he actually care about football still? Like, is that why he's crying, or is he crying because the whole stadium is happy that he got hurt?
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if he's crying because he's like wants to play football. Because after hearing Jameis talk about you know how he
How hard he
comes
works
into
and everything.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, that feels weird. Like Jameis, I is someone who I
Respect.
respect, and he's always been very authentic, and it
No,
just
I
feels
know.
weird for him to come out and go to bat for this guy for
like no reason. Like I don't know. I still have
No, I
mixed
know.
feelings on it.
I the way I feel is this. This is an indictment on the Browns, right? This is an indictment on an organization that gave a guy that they shouldn't have given. I mean, whatever. Deshaun Watson, the allegations, the whole thing. It doesn't matter. You can't give that guy that contract, right? They give him the contract anyway. Then he doesn't perform, whether it's because he hasn't played in 2 years because he was an asshole to Houston before he left, or he's playing bad because he knows he's got a bag and it doesn't matter. However you want to look at it, look at it. He lost whatever mojo he had. I don't know, right? He's playing terribly. Any other team would have benched him by now. But now the Browns are just putting him out there essentially until he gets hurt, until this happens, right? And then what? We're mad that I'm not thrilled that people cheered for him getting hurt, but at the same time, that was the only way you weren't going to have to watch him. And
Yeah,
he was really, really bad. And he was making hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's still going to make those hundreds
still.
of $1 million no matter what. I mean, this is all about how bad the Browns are to me. The fact that the fans are cheering, that's embarrassing for the Browns.
Yeah, it really is. It's not a good look. And
No.
I know that guy's got a very crazy past, but I don't know,
No,
man. It's just hard for
it's
me to not.
impossible to ignore that.
It is, and it's like, well, we're playing football. Like you don't know this guy, right? Like he's your quarterback. He's
No.
not your friend. So like maybe we can separate it a bit, but and I know it's hell in Cleveland to watch this
No,
team
and
go
and
from
and I don't
11-6 to 1-6, but
I don't know him, and he probably isn't a great dude. It doesn't seem like his teammates. I mean, I know that Winston went to bat for him, but it doesn't like seem like the O line loved him, and it doesn't. Two guys out of a 50 whatever man roster supporting a guy doesn't mean all that much to me. But like,
no.
I'm not gonna have an opinion either way on him as a person from a, you know, is it fucked up that you should be cheering for him to get carted off? I mean, the fact that we're having a conversation about whether it was fucked up that he was being cheered for means that this guy has obviously got some really shady shit going on. Um, but it was humanizing to see this dude cry and get carted off the field. I felt for him in the moment.
I did too. That was like what did it for me. I was like, damn, I actually feel kind of bad right now watching him.
Hmm. There's a humanizing side to it. I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. I don't know. It sucks that the reason that this is how it was. This was the only way it was going to end,
Yeah.
and that is Cleveland's fault. That's the front office of the Cleveland Browns' fault. They made a conscious decision that they, no matter what, the ownership group and the front office, no matter what, weren't going to bench this guy regardless of how bad he played. And that meant that the only way that he was going to stop playing, stop torturing these fans with his play, was to get hurt. And that meant that when he got hurt, the fans were going to be happy because they didn't have to watch it anymore. And that's not Deshaun's fault necessarily. And that's not the Browns fans' fault either. Because I know if I was a Browns fan, I would be pretty stoked right now that I don't have to watch what I've had to watch for the past 7 weeks. Right? I mean, is that a bad take?
No, it's not, but it's like, dude, your season's over anyways. This doesn't make it better. Like,
No, it's true. That's true.
it's
But do you think,
over.
look,
Like,
without this injury, do you think that the Browns are even in the market for a quarterback in the draft? No, but now maybe they are.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know how happy someone's gonna be to come in and back up Deshaun, but
I don't know if he plays next year, dude.
oh, you think they're just gonna bite the bullet?
They might just end up biting the bullet. He might play like 2 games, but if they draft a quarterback in the first round, they might just say, "Look, we're not paying this guy for the next 4 years anyway. I guess we're just gonna live in cap hell, even though we have the rookie quarterback,
It's a good point.
and just and it may result in them having to trade some really good players that are on their team. Uh,
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett being one of them. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts turning up in trade rumors this offseason. They just start moving big
He
pieces
might.
of the salary off of the books. Oh, dude.
He might be in trade talks this season.
Right. Right. Because if I'm him, I'm looking at it going, one more year of my career, bad. Every game that I go out there, I risk injury, bad. Um, this team's gonna win 2 games. No thanks. I'm already banged up. Let me go. Do the right thing. Move me off the books, create the space. Obviously, you're gonna have to buy out Watson's contract at some point, whether it's next year or the year after. Probably gonna take a rookie quarterback. You're nowhere near where you thought you would be at this point. Sucks. I mean,
Yeah,
they already
I
got rid of
mean,
Amari Cooper.
yeah. So Jerry Judy's their wide receiver one, and they just have a hobbled Nick Chubb as running back. Like it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Funny enough, I think, or funnily enough, I think the quarterback decision will have a lot to do with how the rest of the team chooses to go about this year. I think if
I
they put
agree.
Jameson, I think everybody can rally behind him and
Mm-hmm.
at least go out there and just try to ruin someone's playoffs, right?
Right.
But I think if
And
it's
have decent
DTR,
vibes.
yeah, right? Like cuz you can still have you can still have a fun time like if you knock someone out of the playoff race or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you knock the Bengals
Mm-hmm.
out cuz you beat them at home or you sweep them or actually they just lost to them, but if you go beat
No,
them,
but you beat him
you
down
know,
the stretch. Yeah.
I don't know,
Right.
man. If it's DTR, I really don't. I think Miles Garrett might be hurt a little longer,
Yeah,
or
until
an
he's
injury might
maybe
pop
not on the team anymore.
up. Yeah, kind of like that wide receiver that just magically healed his hamstring after he got traded.
Yeah, that's called the James Harden, dude. You're familiar with it.
Oh yeah, I don't even hate that players do it.
No, it's not ridiculous. It's to be expected. But yeah, that's my Deshaun Watson take. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I can't believe that I wasn't thinking about it when we were starting this. But I myself was going
Well,
through a little bit of self-analysis, thinking about how I felt about this. Because at first I kind of thought it was like this is hilarious from a very dark standpoint. Like it's
it
kind
still
of
is. Yeah.
yeah, like it's funny. It's very funny that this is how it ended. Um,
Well, it's
from where we
almost
started 3 or 4
it's
years
like a
ago.
yeah, man. And like everything that he's done, it just feels like a huge karma moment for him.
Right. And for the Browns,
Yeah.
right? Because what they did
Yeah.
to Baker in the process of this is so messed up.
Yeah.
Um, they almost ended Baker Mayfield's career. And if he doesn't get that one-off shot in Tampa Bay, he's probably not in the NFL anymore.
No, you mean on the Rams.
Yeah, on the Rams too. Right, right. Yeah, and if every quarterback on the Rams doesn't get hurt and they have to start Baker Mayfield on a random game, he may not be in the NFL anymore. And that seems really messed up because the Browns wanted to have this guy who's super polarizing.
Yep.
So it
Well,
all does.
this
This
deserved
feels like the
its
ultimate form of karma, and this deserved its 10 minutes or whatever.
I agree because this is we won't be talking about Deshaun Watson for the rest of the year. So we
Now, and we may never really talk about him again.
I mean it'll come up as a joke every once in a while, but
Oh, for sure. I mean, where does this go down as worst professional sports contracts ever, dude?
dude, how about just like worst
stories.
with a team. Like this is so bad.
This is so bad. It's got to be
This makes
1-1.
yeah, dude, like if you thought James Harden showing up to training camp like 20 pounds
Right,
overweight was bad, this is like James Harden is Jesus compared to this guy.
right. Or, if you think that, I don't know, the Kwame Brown thing is bad or the Jamarcus Russell thing is bad, any sports situation, period. This might be the
Greg
worst
Oden,
ever. Greg Oden spent
Anthony
more time
Bennett.
in court. Um, Anthony Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
no, I
Bryce
mean this
Young,
is
man.
yeah, even Bryce Young.
Sure.
Even Bryce Young
You name it, it's
still
not
think
worse than
it was
this.
better than this. Because you know what? At the end of the day, Bryce Young isn't going to cost you 280 million to get him off your salary.
Yeah, and I guaranteed the 10 Panthers fans that show up to the game would not be cheering for him to get hurt either.
Right.
God.
No, yeah. Yeah, the Timofey Mozgov LA Lakers contract isn't even this bad. The
Well, I
Luol
think
Deng LA Lakers
I was gonna
contract is
say I think Luol Deng's still getting paid by them.
yeah, what is it? Who's the guy that the Mets pay every year?
Oh, I don't know baseball like that.
The Bobby Bellina deal. They pay this guy $1 million every year until 2035.
Oh, that's
He hasn't
wow.
played in a very long time, dude.
Wait, so you're saying they only owe him 11 million more?
They only owe him
So
11
like
million more.
so like a 20th of Deshaun's contract?
No, exactly. Yeah, no, it's really bad, dude.
Oh,
They,
rest in peace,
it's
Deshaun.
the 1999 thing, but yeah, yeah. Well, Jalen, I hope you have a good week. Yeah, I hope you have a good week. I hope to see you Thursday for the game. So
Yeah, dude, you better be here on Thursday.
yeah, that's a must watch with the boys. So
Yeah,
right on, man. Well, it was good. Thank you for hopping on. Good pod. Good job by you.
of course, you as well.